Some things in Krishna consciousness are not readily understandable, or we might say easily understandable. Sometimes we say Krishna consciousness, the most intuitive, natural thing to understand. And at other times, people are left acknowledging that we're dealing with the inconceivable. And that's not just the position of a new person, but Srila Guru Maharaj himself tells of the time when he said to Srila Saraswati Thakur, perhaps on the Brajamandal Parikrama, but he said that Sanatana Goswami concludes Krishna Leela in a particular way, Rupa Goswami concludes in another way. How are we to understand that? Right? As he said in another place, taking it that the devotees are sarvagya, they know everything. And about the highest devotees of the Lord, they're omniscient in that sense. So he said, what do we do when one omniscient disagrees with another omniscient? That's actually a wonderful thing, that one omniscient can see things differently than another omniscient. Someone asked recently, translating Sri Guru and His Grace, how to render the phrase, everywhere center, nowhere circumference. But that means something that's inconceivable to us at present. So when Srila Guru Maharaj said these things, inquired of Srila Saraswati Thakur in this way, he said his answer was adhoksaja, which in other places Guru Maharaj says is one of the favorite names of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's another way of saying inconceivable. Right? Krishna consciousness, we specialize in inconceivable things. As I've mentioned, one poet who told, he said, we need more people to specialize in the impossible. What is impossible? What is inconceivable? Yang Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam. Someone asked me in Bila Govinda, devotee of long time, and saying, I take questions, and said in a like coy way, why is Krishna blackish? Why is Krishna black? Someone who's been devotee, say for 20 years. Why is Krishna black? So I quoted this verse from the Brahma Samhita. Yang Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam. It's an achintya of His swarup. This guna is achintya, meaning of His divine form. This quality described as Shyama, Ganashyam, is what? Achintya, inconceivable. Means the black of your experience, of your mundane experience, of your experience in the objective world, it's not that. Until, oh, Ganashyam, like a monsoon, like that. That's the direction to go in, but not in an objective way. Oh, I've got a picture of a monsoon rain cloud. I have one on my iPhone, actually. When I was in Calcutta, a year or so, was in the monsoon, and I looked out, I saw these extraordinary monsoon rain clouds, and I thought, aha, something like that. So I like grabbed my iPhone and just stuck it out the window and just for personal reference, artistic reference. If an artist said, what does that look? Oh, it looks like this. Achintya Guna Swarupam, an inconceivable form. Yang Shyama Sundaram, the form of Shyama Sundar Krishna. So we are the, Guru Maharaj would say, are we crazy people? Ami ek botul tumi ditiya, as Mahaprabhu says to Ramananda, I'm crazy the first, you're crazy the second. They have king, so-and-so the first, king so-and-so the second, Pope such and such. But he said, I'm crazy the first, you're crazy the second. Is that the situation? Yes. Yanisha sarvabhutanam ashame jagrati samyami. What is sensible and substantial to the spiritually adept is like madness to the people in general. But we remind everyone that what's in the brain of Einstein is like madness to the people in general. But is it madness? Is it beneficial? Is there some substance there? Or it's just madness, like a madman wandering the street? Or is there what appears to be like madness, in the words of Shakespeare, there's a method to the madness. He's saying that there's a type of madness where there's something there that's actually beneficial for everyone. So Saraswati Thakur telling Guru Maharaj, Adhoksaja. This is a name of Krishna. Yato bhaktir adhoksaje. We're devoting ourselves to Adhoksaja and the Adhoksaja realm, the Adhoksaja plane. Pratyaksha, paroksha, aparoksha, adhoksaja. The adhoksaja realm, that which is not verifiable by the intellect, the mind, the senses. That's our exclusive interest. And all observable phenomena and the shared observations of those who observe phenomena are useless when it comes to trying to get a connection with the Adhoksaja realm. So Guru Maharaj would say by extension, so should we retire that name? Adhoksaja, put a big banner on it. We retired that name. Now we understand, we know everything. Nothing mysterious remains to be unknown. That can never be in Krishna consciousness. That is why the culture of faith demands that you believe in what cannot be verified. Ajnanatimrandasya Gyananjana salakaya chaksurun militam jena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. The primal Guru mantra, and saying, I'm expressing my gratitude for you extending to me a glimpse of that which is inconceivable. Now I feel myself so blessed and so fortunate. What cannot be understood by the mind, intellect, senses, you've opened my eyes and given me a glimpse of that realm and that world. I'm told the ordinary people see with their eyes, the animals see with their sense, right? But the spiritually advanced see through hearing, Shabda Brahma, spiritual sound culture. Like Guru Maharaj is saying, Saraswatas are word traders. They deal in sound. Right? So, Srila Guru Maharaj, if we're to try and understand these things, the divine position of Gadadhara Pandit, how is it possible? How shall we make our approach? When Srila Gurudev was in Lakta in St. Petersburg, and I remember one time he said, maybe it was on, no, I don't know why it came up, but it came up, and he said, the worship of Gadadhar, he said, that is the private chamber of bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because when we were new devotees and we would hear something, you read the song, the Godruma Kanana Kunja Bidum song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Smara Gaura Gadadhara Paksha Baram Srinu Gaura Gadadhara, something. These beautiful lines about Gaura Gadadhara, always remember them, always glorify them. Then we think, oh, like a fad. Oh, we'll do that. I'll worship Gaura Gadadhara. You got Radha Krishna, Jagannath Subhadra Baladra, Gaur Nitai, Gaur Gadadhara. Is that available? You know, that domain name, Gadai Gauranga. But Srila Gurudev very cautiously, very respectfully said, this is the private chamber of bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Like, don't go there. Don't try to go there. This is beyond, way beyond what you can conceive. Respect that. Respect the boundaries. Don't try to, you know, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Don't try to enter there. Still, at times like these, and some other times, some necessity, some service necessity comes to us to properly conceive these things. Not out of curiosity or fad, but out of genuine service necessity. It is our necessity to properly glorify Gadadhara Pandit on his appearance day. That is a service necessity. Then that will require that we turn our attention to these matters. But on the basis of what we think might be, or Asraya Loya Bhati, taking shelter of the lotus feet of the higher Vaishnava and his understanding, his spectacles, lenses, way of seeing things. Right? Gaudiya Darshan, nicely continued by Sripad Tyagi Maharaj, and he's translated something of Guru Maharaj for this, on this occasion. There was Guru Maharaj saying, it's the way of Mahaprabhu's way of seeing. Mahaprabhu and the followers of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Saraswat, the Saraswatas, the followers of Srila Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of his gifts to the world, Srila Saraswati Thakur. So, there are statements in the scriptures that are perplexing, and that's frequent when dealing with the infinite, with that which is inconceivable. So, in one place, in Chaitanya Charitamritam, it's mentioned, some comparison is given of Gadadhar and Rukmini. So we can think, well, that's very nice. Rukmini, the great Dwaraka queen, the principal, But for those who are, the Gaudiya ontologists, like Srila Guru Maharaj, we could say there's a bit of a dilemma here, because we take it that Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani, and heart above intellect, Vrindavan, where heart is in the supreme position, and Srimati Radharani is in the supreme position, and Chandravali, secondary position. As they expand out of Vrindavan to Dwaraka, a reversal takes place, where intellect is in the primary position, heart is in the secondary position, and Rukmini is the principal queen, and Satyabhama, a subordinate queen, and Satyabhama is taken to be Srimati Radharani's extension. Bhama Bhav, she's somewhat disagreeable, she's like a left-wing gopi, many things are there about Satyabhama. And Raghunath Das Goswami has written some wonderful things about that too. When she once asked Krishna, this bangle that I have made from these pearls, where did they come from? And Krishna, oh, let me tell you. But that's not for us to tell. But that's beautiful enough that she wants to know, where did this come from? Like, oh, the story. There was a time when pearls used to grow out of the ground, not from the ocean. And out of the soil of Vrindavan. The mukta. Muktas spring out of Vrindavan soil. But at any rate, so why would Kaviraj Goswami, the master, Kaviraj, Krishnadas Kaviraj, why would he compare Gadadhara to Rukmini? This presents an ontological dilemma. Srila Guru Maharaj comes to our aid, our rescue. Because then Guru Maharaj comes with his explanation that if, as Srup Damodar, remember, Srupam Bribranam Jagatatulyam, no one compares to Srup Damodar in qualification or explanation, right, about who Sri Gauranamutam Srupa Viditam. If you want to understand Gaura Anumatam, and who Mahaprabhu is, what he's come down, for what reason, what purpose, to distribute what, there's no greater authority than Srup Damodar. Therefore, the notes of Srup Damodar form what Guru Maharaj called the steel frame, or the structure upon which the entire Chaitanya Charitamritam will be built. And there, you hear, Radha Bhava Duty Subalita Nomi Krishna Swarupam. This Krishna Swarup, this very peculiar and interesting Swarup of Krishna, and the form Gauranga Mahaprabhu, why is he like this? Radha Bhava Duty Subalita. He's enveloped in the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. Right? So much so in Ramananda Samvad, when Ramananda is discovering who Mahaprabhu is, and by comparison it should be noted, we'll say, Guru Maharaj, Mahaprabhu only revealed his internal position to Ramananda. Someone might say, yes, but the Sadbhuj Murti was revealed to Murari Gupta or to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Yes, and if you look there carefully, it says Ishvara Murti, that he's God. He's revealing that he's God to them. That who was Ramachandra, who was Krishna, now he's appeared again. But that's his internal identity is not, he's God. In Mahaprabhu's pastime, that is a subordinate, a superficial aspect of his identity. Imagine that. Being God is a superficial aspect of who you are. To whom does he reveal who he is in the deep heart's core, internally? To Ramananda. So when Ramananda is going deeper, looking deeper, going to the deep heart's core, and he said, when our conversation began, I saw you as a sannyasi on the banks of the Godavari River. In fact, it looked as though the sun had descended and dressed itself in saffron garments. Such was your effulgence. But now I'm not seeing a sannyasi anymore, and I'm becoming somewhat bewildered. Shama Goparup, I see Shama Sundar Krishna. And that's when Mahaprabhu said, oh, we've heard of this type of vision, of the Mahabhagavata. Everywhere they cast their glance, they can extract Krishna. This is a wonderful thing. So of course, when you look at me, you're also seeing Krishna. Dandav, that is so wonderful. We celebrate that and worship that type of culture and interior vision, way of seeing things. And Ramananda is saying, do not play with me in this way, my Lord. Don't tease me like this, that I'm seeing Krishna and everything, so when I look at you, I also see Krishna within you. Please. And he said, and also that's not the problem, is that I'm seeing Shama Sundar Krishna, but I see the golden form of a girl is covering him. What is this? And interestingly, Mahaprabhu says, Gaura Anga Nat. Actually, I'm not golden. by my own nature. It's very peculiar. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is saying, I'm not Gaura actually. As Jiva Goswami says, Anta Krishna Bahir Gauram Darshitang Garibai Bhavam. He's saying, Anta, inside, deep inside, is Krishna. Gaura Bahir Gauram, but externally Gaura. And he says, actually, it is by the touch of Srimati Radharani that I've become golden. That's what happened. Radharani touched me. By her embrace, otherwise I'm not like that. Then he said, well, then who are you? And his answer is, Radharani, she doesn't touch anyone except Krishna. He doesn't say, he just says, think about it. Radharani, whom does she embrace? There's only one person that she bestows her divine embrace and touch upon. And that is Krishna. So, like in Guru Maharaj's month, where Radharani would not have garland, when people would ask, Guru Maharaj would say, who can garland Radharani? Who can put a garland on Radharani? Radharani would always be offering to Krishna. And he says, Sparsham, by Radharani's touch, this happened to me, this position. So Rupa Goswami in the Chaitanyastakam says, Aparam kasyapi pranayi janamrindasya kutuki. That Krishna serving the billions of gopis and seeing, they all have these extraordinary qualities. This is inconceivable to us. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabi tabbir eva nijarupataya kalabi goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto govinda maripurusham tamaham bhajami. They're each one you could write a book about, and an astakam, many astakams, and they do, just describing their unique position, unique qualities, and their divine, inconceivably beautiful forms, which are the outcome of their serving capacity and tendencies. Just as I've been here, the body is the biological expression of the soul's delusion. The swarup is the divine form expression of the serving tendency of the servitor. It's the expression of the devotion, the form of devotion expression. Sri Rupa. So Srimati Radharani, her divinely inconceivable form, I'm saying Krishna surveying all of these super qualified, super servitors, sees that one is not just superior to all the others, but superior to such a degree that she cancels all the others. That is what makes her so extraordinary. Not that she's just marginally superior to everyone else, but superior to such a degree that all others are cancelled. Right? And we could say, Radhamadaya Hridaye Tatyaja Braja Sundari, as Jayavade Goswami says, that, well, when Krishna left the Rasa Lila and searched for Radharani, I mean, before he's able to manifest himself, a Krishna besides each gopi or between each gopi. Why didn't he do that? He could have made other forms of them and then gone after her, and then everything could have gone on that way. But Vishwanath says that Krishna is also thinking, if their hearts, if they will feel separation from me, and separation to its nth degree, to the extreme, and then I reappear, what would that rasa dance be like? That would be something. So if I need to, right at the point where they're anticipating having union with me, separate myself at that time and plunge them into the depths of separation. So Krishna aparam kasyapi pranayi janabrindashu kutuki rasotstamam hritva maduram upabhoktam kamapiya. What is, we're told, because Guru Maharaj said, he steals the heart of Srimati Radharani and the halo comes as a companion. He plunders the wealth of her heart. That Guru Maharaj is also indicated in the when he gets the wealth, the sampad of Srimati Radharani, then he's Ami Gauranga Sundar. I become Gauranga Sundar. So, Guru Maharaj said, the remainder, if Krishna takes the heart and halo of Radharani, the remainder is Gadadhara. What distinguishes Srimati Radharani in general is her Bhamabhav, this contrary nature. It inspires Krishna to go deeper in love and affection, that she's not agreeable to everything. And again, this is mysterious. We're told, be a submissive devotee, always follows him. Right? And she's the ultimate devotee, and she's not submissive in certain contexts. And that gives great joy to Krishna. It's not that Krishna is like, what's wrong with you? No, it's inspiring him. And what does he say? In Chaitanya Charitamritam, this is the source for all of this insight. He's saying, in fact, if my beloved is chastising me and cursing me in the worst language, that is sweeter to my ear than the reverential hymns of the Vedas. You know, Om Vishnu Rishi Mahaya Shanti Shanti Shanti. You think that I can't even hear it. If she's chastising me, that's so sweet. I'm just captured by that. I don't know what the Vedas are talking about. And they're saying how great I am, and she's saying what a despicable person I am. And that's more interesting to me. Right? Das Goswami said, they call Krishna the acharya of despicable behavior. That's how you're an acharya. Don't this acharya, savior of the world, all these kind of things. Right? Guru Maharaj saying, Radharani sometimes saying, telling her, Krishna will not be allowed in my kunja. If he comes, tell him to go away. And that we're searching for Sri Krishna. Not today. Other people can go search for Krishna. So, Krishna is totally enamored by her ways. Bhagavan Harir Ishvara. She can steal the mind of Krishna. Right? Madan Mohan, Krishna's bewildering Cupid, but what does Shari say to Suk and Shari, the parents? She's saying, but Krishna, he only has that capacity at the right hand of Radharani, otherwise he himself is bewildered by her seductive charm, beauty, and sweetness. So, plundering the heart and halo of Radharani, the remainder, Guru Maharaj says, like a carcass. He uses these words that are shocking. He says, like a facsimile of her former self. A carcass, or he said, someone whose wealth has been plundered. Now they're holding an empty bag, running after that person who stole their wealth, trying to get that. And in that, what was translated by Tyagi Maharaj, Guru Maharaj saying, only if you can imagine Lakshmi Devi holding a beggar's bag, can you begin to conceive this position. Jai Shri, the supreme goddess of fortune, has lost all of her wealth. And he says, those who sacrifice their body for the, Socrates, Jesus, and he mentions other in Vedic literature too. He's saying, this is not that type of sacrifice. And he points out, for the spiritually advanced, to sacrifice the body is not much for them. That's not, the ultimate sacrifice for the spiritually advanced. That's why Sukadeva, Tanturaja Marishyeti Pashu Buddhi Mam Jahe. Don't think like this, king. Giving up the body is the ultimate sacrifice. But the internal wealth, that to sacrifice that is another thing. And two factors we see in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Tyaktva sudhushtaja surepshita raja lakshmin. He gives up the wealth, the imperial throne, which means the wealth in the heart of Vishnu Priya, her love for him, inconceivable to us. He has to walk away from that type of love and affection. But here, the emphasis is being given on the wealth of Srimati Radharani. She's given that up. That is her existence. Anyara Hridayaman Moraman Vrindavan. She's saying normally, a person's mind and their heart are the same. That's why in India they go, in my mind, I was thinking. They don't go, they don't do that. They go, in my mind. They grab their heart when they say, in my mind, I feel this. Because she's saying, so normally mind and heart are the same in this context. She said, but anyara hridayaman moraman brina. But my mind, heart are identical to Vrindavan. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam. What is Vrindavan really? It's that spiritually conscious, dedicating substantial soil that's embellished with the lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. That is Vrindavan. It's a construct of her heart in that sense. So she's sacrificed that for the pleasure, for Krishna, to allow Krishna to take this position as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. But she's also worried. She knows what it's like to be her. Lalita Saki knows what it's when Radharani is experiencing the depths of Krishna Prem and as realized in separation. It's devastating. The 10th stage being death. A death-like, approaching death. And they say, it's so intolerable. That's why, no prema gandhasti dharapi me haro, krandami subhagya param prakashitam. And Krishna Prem, Jambu Nadahim, where Mahaprabhu, second chapter, Madhya is saying, Krishna Prem is not a thing of this world. Like the gold in the rivers of heaven. Is that real? Or not? Well, even if it is, it's not available here, it's only available there. Krishna Prem is not a thing of this world. And here's what you need to understand. If someone has Krishna Prem, here's the test. Well, how do we know? How do we don't know? Here's the test according to Mahaprabhu voicing the sentiments of Srimati Radharani. If someone has Krishna Prem, here's how you test. If they're separated from Krishna, they will drop dead. So if they're living, they don't have it. That's the positive proof. You don't have Krishna Prem as you're alive. Because if you really had it, you couldn't go on living in separation from Krishna. That's the standard. And so she says, the positive proof that I have no love for Krishna is I'm alive. I wake up every day, look at myself in the mirror, go and presenting a face to the world. That's proof I have no love for Krishna. I have no love and affection for Krishna. I go on living like this. My fly-like, insect-like existence I keep maintaining in the absence of my Lord. Prananath. Asli Shabha Parvatam Panastumama Darshanam Mamahatam Karotuva Yata Tata Va Vadadatu Lampato Mat Prana Natastu Sareva Napara. My whole reason for existing. That's her level of intensity, the magnitude of her intensity. And as voiced from the heart, the volcanic eruptions, the lava streaming out of the heart of Mahaprabhu in the form of Shikshastakam and other such expressions. All svaviraha, feeling separation from himself, seeing what that is like. He did not descend here for some vogue, the joy of union. And think about it. Why would Krishna, Rasaraj Krishna, right, the Adi Purusha, the supreme enjoyer, as we like to say, he would descend to experience enjoyment? That makes no sense whatsoever. But that he would want to experience, like Gurudev put it, he said, what is his tasting matter of Mahaprabhu? Where does his focus? The two focal points, Kurukshetra, the zenith of separation after 100 years of separation. And so that's what is celebrated in front of the Rath Yatra, publicly, you can say, although it's very internal, singing Yak Kumara Hara, etc. Only Sri Rupa can tell us what it means. Sort of public but mysterious at the same time, if we can have the audacity to say that. But behind closed doors, the last 12 years in the Gangbhir, what Banhi Garbha, Guru Maharaj says in his Premadhamma Stotram, Gurudev translates as fire bed of separation, when the ultimate heat and intent, the volcanic eruptions, the lava-like eruptions from the heart of the golden volcano, divine lava is streaming out. What is there? The Brahmar Gita of the Uddhava Darshan, when Uddhava comes with his message from Krishna. For Radharani's separation is so intense, she enters this state of divine madness. And then different types of prajalpa, as identified by Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Rupa Goswami, and the Acharyagan there. Right? That's, Mahaprabhu wants to taste this 24 hours a day for the last 12 years of his life, non-stop, and with Swarup and Ramananda. Why? Lalita Sakhi Swarup knows, oh, when this type of feeling comes to the heart, listen to this, supplying this sloka, this song. Ramananda, they know, Lalita Vishaka, they know these things because of their assistance to Srimati Radharani. So Mahaprabhu, Krishna, under the influence of the heart and halo of Radharani, has entered terra incognito, an unknown terrain, unknown world to him. So only Lalita Vishaka can give that type of assistance. But one other person knows these things fully, but is not so vocal. Right? Gadadhara Pandit, Srimati Radharani herself. And just as a footnote, mention there what was translated of Guru Maharaj, that say when we mention Vishnu Priya, the real devotees of Mahaprabhu, they never impose the enjoyer position on him. There's no conjugal relations in his family life, actually, even. What to speak of others. He never takes the position of a debauchee. Some miss the Gauranga Nagaribad group. They think, oh, there are indications in the Chaitanya Mangal, in other words, that some of the ladies of Navadvip, being enamored by the beauty of Nimai Pandit, expressed erotic sentiments toward him. And so they draw erroneous rasabhasic conclusions on the basis of that. Guru Maharaj answered quite simply, he never reciprocated. They may have expressed something, being enamored by his beauty, it was never reciprocated. He never takes the position of an enjoyer, a debauchee, a lampat, etc., as Krishna does. That's why Narahari Sakar Thakur's sloka, it's charming when it's heard from him. This Gopi Nam Kuchakung Chumena Vichitam Vasya Kim Yasyaranam, where he says, to Mahaprabhu, I don't accept your sannyas. But this is a very unique devotee playing. His heart's playing in a particular way. Why? He said, that Krishna from Vrindavan, the debauchee, the lampat, womanizer, he's become a sannyasi. Oh, not possible. No, he has the saffron dress. Oh, from the kumkum, from the gopi's breast, his clothes are all covered in saffron. He is unique. That's Narahari Sakar Thakur. This is some because devotees are in different positions. Some sing more as Krishna, Mahaprabhu, split between, etc. But the extreme servitors of Radharani, they're the extreme devotees of Mahaprabhu. They're never imposing the enjoyer role upon him, because, and Guru said, like when if the wife and the husband are worshiping the deity, husband's worshiping the deity, the wife will assist, but she'll never at that time express anything remotely amorous. She's assisting in the worship of the deity. Here, the deity, really the personification of Krishna Prem. And Gadadhara is assisting Krishna. Now, they're in their Acharya Leela. Radha and Krishna of Vrindavan, they're now in Acharya Leela, Odarja, and they want to distribute this to others. So there's no question of sambhog or enjoyment. All the emphasis goes toward separation, because they know separation is the key to entering into a proper mood, feeling, expression of devotion to Krishna. It's the safe, they have decided this. Radha and Krishna know that. This is the way to give everyone entrance to the door of separation, union and separation. So, Krishna, Guru Maharaj has expressed this very beautifully in his Gadadhar Pranam. And remember, as a footnote, these pranams that he wrote were for his collection of Bhagavat slokas, thematically similar to Srup Dar's and ordering Bhaktivinoda Thakur to make a collection. But Guru Maharaj is giving a hint of what the selection criteria will be. So he's in Nilambudhi Tate Sada Subiraha Kepan Vitam Bandhavam Srimad Bhagavati Katha Madiraya Sanjeevayan Bhattiya Srimad Bhagavatam Swada Svanayanasu Payanai Pujayam Goswami Prabharo Gadadhara Vibhur Bhuyat Madeka Gati. Saying, what I'm selecting here, I want this to be an offering to Gadadhar Pandit. That's the hint is coming. These different slokas, I want that Gadadhar Pandit will be pleased with the selection. Which means Srimati Radharani herself. That she will approve. These things have been selected to do what? To assuage the grief of separation in the heart of Mahaprabhu. What is he doing? On the banks of the broad blue ocean, Nilachala, Nilambodhi, the blue ocean and the blue mountain, Puri. Nilachala is another one of his names. Right? Ujjvala, Nilamani, Nila, Nilambodhi Tate, on the bank, Tata, Kepan, Swaviraha. Krishna is feeling separation from himself. As Mahaprabhu tells Ramananda, Nija Madhurja, as Radharani in her bhav, I'm tasting my own sweetness. This is extraordinary. I'm losing my mind in the process. Swaviraha, but here, feeling what it's like when she feels separation from me. Bhakta bhav is intense enough. But here, Radha bhav, Radha bhava duty subolita, enveloped with her heart, how she feels the extremes of separation from Krishna. And Kepan Vitam Bandhavam, in association of his most dear friend. As Guru Maharaj said, Gora Premamoy Tanu Pandit Gadadhar. no one has as much love for Mahaprabhu as Gadadhar. And that must be. Radharani seeing Krishna under the influence of her heart and hand. I mean, no one loves Krishna more than Radharani, and no one loves Mahaprabhu more than Gadadhar. That's the fact. But, so it's with his friends. That's how Guru Maharaj said. With his best friends. Right. But Sanjeevayan, but he's on the verge of death. Separation is so, it's gone to the 10th stage. And we should mention, why the devotees will not embrace death? Because they think that will give some pain to the heart of Krishna. So I should die in separation from Krishna, but I'll go on living to not cause him any pain. I'll experience more pain. Right? Bahire Vishajalahoi Bitare Anandamoy Krishna Premier Adbhuta Charit. This unique, wonderfully astonishing characteristic of Krishna Prem. Externally, suffering as if one's been poisoned. Internally, relishing the sweetest nectar. Pidabir Navakala Kutakatuta Garbhasya Nirvashano Nishandena Sudham Madhur Ahankar Sankochane Prema Sundari Nanda Nanda Pro Yashantari Gyayantes Putamasya Bhakya Madarais Tenaiva Vikrantaya. Rupa Goswami says, if it's like you were bitten by a cobra and you're suffering the effects of cobra venom while taking an inconceivably nectarine bath and a nectar shower at the same time. So he's on the verge of death, and what is Gadadhar Pandit doing? Guru Maharaj says that just like if some friend of yours, they're devastated in love, their heart has been broken, they're lovesick, their heart has been broken, they're separated from the one that they love, their heart is bleeding, being tortured, full of anguish. Said then a friend might come and offer them some intoxication. Say, here, you take this. This will give you some relief. But what is the intoxication here? The slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. And Radharani should know, when I feel like that, how you feel now, then hear this. Picking this sloka, that sloka. That's the criteria for sloka selection. What will augment one's sentiment, bring relief to a particular type of separation anguish. But in this process, seeing Krishna like this, totally stunned, astonished by what it's like to be her feeling these sentiments, Gadadhar Pandit is crying tears of, mysterious tears of ecstatic joy. They're streaming down the face of Gadadhar Pandit. We're told, what? Like if tears could be lotus flower, like lotus flower tear offerings falling onto the pages of the Bhagavatam. But in the process, those very slokas, they're being washed away. And perhaps that is why Guru Maharaj did not finish this. It's what cannot be expressed from another point of view. They're being expressed by Gadadhar Pandit and then washed away from the pages. So much so that when Srinivas Acharya approaches Gadadhar Pandit for Bhagavat class and instruction to be taught Srimad Bhagavatam, Gadadhar Pandit saying, what I want to teach you, he's Srinivas Acharya, we think he knows the Bhagavatam. But there's another deeper level reading of the Bhagavatam that's very specific in its nature and for a very specific purpose. And that's what I want to teach you. But those slokas have been washed away. And how does Krishna consciousness work? So he's sent to Navadvip, to the Pandits to get a new Bhagavatam, and that takes some time. When he returns to Puri, they say, oh, Gadadhar Pandit has left the world. what would that do to the heart of the qualified person? You're going to get Bhagavad instruction from Gadadhara Pandit, and you find out upon returning, Gadadhara Pandit has left the world. That puts Srinivasacharya into a state of divine madness. And he's running to Vrindavan to take shelter at the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami. And what does he find upon his arrival? Huge kirtan. All of Vrindavan, there's huge kirtan. And he's saying, maybe I didn't consult the Panjika in my travels. Is today some special day? And they say, haven't you heard? No, what? What news? Rupa Goswami has left the world. That is too much. He faints, he loses consciousness. And when he awakens, where is he? In the ashram of Srila Jiva Goswami. So what demands will be put upon the heart of an aspiring servitor? So Guru said, when force is put upon affection, he's saying that's why the golden volcano bursts with the lava streams, the divine lava. It's the force of affection upon the heart, and there's no greater force of affection upon the heart than in separation. So Guru said, separation yields a deeper level of heart and superior substance. So, and what is Sachi Devi? What is her separation from Nimai Pandit? We can't even conceive of that. We can't discuss it. We can't think about it even. But we can understand it. Sachi Mata, Vishnu Priya, they have to live in separation from Nimai Pandit. It's the whole Gaur Leela. This is the real substance of it. Right? Our sweetest songs are those that tell the saddest tales. These mysterious pastimes have a particular hold upon the heart of the real devotees of Krishna, the real devotees of Mahaprabhu, the real devotees of Srimati Radharani, and it's what brings them into the upper world, the highest region of the upper world. Yata yata gora padara vinde vinde tabhaktim krita punyarasi tata tatot sarpati hridya kasmat radha padamboja sudamburasi. This is the opinion of Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, whom Tunga Vidya, Astasaki Tunga Vidya, who Gurudev said, what Rupa Goswami's done, he could have done that seva. But wanting to stay in the background, tells Kaviraj Goswami, he's saying, but Kaviraj Goswami and Rupa Goswami, but you do, yes, Prabhu, I'm giving you my blessing, but don't mention my name anywhere in your book. I'm so unworthy, right? His conception is so high. The author of the Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi, which only Guru Maharaj could say, is higher than Krishna Karnamritam, in the sense, why? It's praising Radharani, revealing thereby Guru Maharaj being an exclusive devotee of Radharani. What does that begin with? Well, what is the song? Tasya namostu Brishabhanu Bubodhi Shepi. Brishabhanu Nandini Radharani. She's so great, so exalted. The direction in which the daughter of Brishabhanu Maharaj appeared is worshipable to us. That's why Gadadhar Pandit is sent by Mukunda to Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Premanidhi, whose Brishabhanu Maharaj descended. He'll be your guru. What does Guru Maharaj say in this essay? That Gadadhar Pandit's Gaur Prem is so great, he forgot his mantra. Not the way we forget things. The Prem was so great, he forgot the mantra. And asked Mahaprabhu, can you tell me I forgot the mantra? Mahaprabhu, no, you go, Premanidhi is your guru, you hear mantra from him. So, And interestingly, the Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi, which Guru said in this Yata Yata Gora Padara Vinde, Vindeta Bhaktim Krita Punyarasi, Tata Tatot Sarpati Hridya Kasmat, Radha Padam Boja Sudham Burasi. Guru Maharaj is sometimes translated as the Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi, the ocean of the nectarine service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. That book, which is all praise of Radharani, 272 slokas or so. What is the first sloka? It's so telling that sahajiyas cannot handle it. They just can't stand it. As though it's all about Radharani, but the first sloka, what is it? Nindantam pulakot karena bikasam nipa prasunat chevim prodrikritam bujadvayam hari hari uchai vitantam muhu nityantam dutamasru nirjara chay sinchantam urvitalam gayantam nija parasadaya parivritam Sri Gaura Chandram Nama. Praise of Mahaprabhu. That Mahaprabhu with Gadadhara Pandit and Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Srivas, Rama, all of them, they're engaged in their Prem Sankirtan with them. Streams of tears are pouring from the eyes of Mahaprabhu. He's falling to the ground on his hands and knees, taking Krishna Nam. And the earth's becoming soft as an outcome. That Gaura Chandram, with all of his associates, Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundara Nagara, Nityam Nijer Namavi, taking his own name and dancing madly. Atma Lila Savasiddha Purnasokya Lakshanam. Remember, said the ultimate expression of the ultimate reality. Dancing, taking his own name, relishing the sweetness of his own name, going mad as an outcome, an ecstatic dance, and thereby doing what? Distributing this to others. O Darja Leela of Gaur Gadadhar, Radha and Krishna are recruiting, they're recruiting new recruits for the Rasa Leela. That's what Guru Maharaj said. It's new recruits for the Rasa Leela. How inconceivable is that? As he told in the opening of Mayapur, he said, I couldn't believe it when I heard it. It's the and Guru Maharaj said, if you take Krishna Nam, the holy name of Krishna, he said, you will find one day that you are a member of the harem of Krishna. And then how can Guru Maharaj say this in a public meeting? It's the inauguration, because he's saying ultimately what this is all about. And again, not that we always talk about that, but sometimes today we talk about it. To show, what is the Krishna consciousness movement? Who possesses all this Krishna consciousness? We say, sometimes we'll think, well, Gadadhara Pandit's not very prominent in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, as other figures might be. Yes, quietly, taking a position, Ketra Sannyas in Puri, can I go to Vrindavan? No. The Queen of Vrindavan is not allowed to go to Vrindavan. You tell me what Krishna consciousness is. The Queen of Vrindavan is denied entrance there. No, you cannot go. Jagadananda Pandit, you cannot go. And Jagadananda, if you go, don't imitate the Brijbasis, just chain yourself to Sanatana Goswami or you're going to get in trouble. Right? Why can the Queen of Vrindavan not enter Vrindavan and Gaur Leela? He's saying, it's a merciful denial. Absent her heart, we can't think of what that will do to Radharani. So Mahaprabhu was saying, no, don't go there. I forbid you. Stay here in Puri. Right? And we just saw recently the Gopinath deity. How much love and affection. Guru Maharaj said also, just think about it. Radharani, her cooking ability. We hear about Damayanti and Raghava Pandit and sister and those wonderful things. But remember, no one can cook like Srimati Radharani. She's the #1 cook in the Krishna consciousness movement. She has that benediction from Durvasa Muni. So then what about Gadadhar Pandit's cooking ability? So Guru Maharaj said sometimes Mahaprabhu's going over to the Tota Gopinath temple for prasad. What is Gadadhar Pandit offering to Gopinath? And that deity is so beautiful and so irrationally beautiful. The extremes of the chest and just like Radha, reminiscent of Radharaman in that sense, this beautiful, broad, and very narrow, and just such a beautiful deity. But you will see, if you go there now, the deity sitting in the, this like lotus position, or half lotus, whatever you want to say. Why? We're told, this, what is the power of the love and the heart of Gadadhar Pandit? Where's getting older and your body starts to go down. He can no longer offer the chandan, the flower, all the necessary seva. So what's happening? The deity is starting to come down to Gadadhar till at last, what does the deity do? Just sits down. It's Krishna, but sitting. So Gadadhar Pandit can put the chandan, do all the different types of seva. How much love Krishna has to see Radharani in this position. And sometimes when Mahaprabhu left the world, Guru Maharaj said it's like hypnotism, showing different ways to different people. They will show you the deity, they say, if you come for the Mangalarati, then, they lift the deity's cloth and you see the golden mark on the thigh of Gopinath. Some say, oh, Mahaprabhu came and entered the Gopinath deity, or he entered Jagannath, he went in the sea, he went in the sky, so many different things. But it was the love of Gadadhar Pandit, Gadadhar, Gora Premamoy, Tanu Gadadhar, Pandit Gadadhar, that in this sense maintained and nourished Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So appeared on the Amavasya, a month later on the Amavasya, withdrawing from this plane. So as Guru Maharaj said, Goswami Prabharo Gadadhara Bibur Bhuyat Madeka Gati. Whatever I'm doing, my attempt here, let this please the best of the Goswamis. How beautiful, you think, Goswami Prabharo Gadadhara, the best of the Goswamis, Gadadhar Pandit. My only intention here is to please that divine personality. So Gadadhar Pandit Goswami Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Titi Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivraj Akacharya Sataraswati Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.